We live in turbulent times. Confusion, chaos, and uncertainty seem to rule the day. Things change faster than our ability to absorb the changes, leaving many of us unsure of the future and fearful of the present. Along with our rapidly advancing technology comes the modern malady known as information or sensory overload. The ever-present demands of our TVs, radios, pagers, mobile phones, and faxes are almost impossible to escape, and we long for an island of security amid the seeming chaos of the world around us. For many people, the modern shopping mall provides for this need. Ideally, the mall would embody a feeling of tranquility and security, but without being cold and sterile. It should strive to provide customers with a sense of warmth and humanity, while at the same time providing a relaxing departure from the constant demands of everyday life. As a vital link in maintaining a safe and secure environment, you, as a public safety officer, play the most visible role in preserving this atmosphere. You have an important job here at the mall, and we at IPC International Corporation are determined to do all we can to help you succeed. The most important first step you can take to ensure your success is to think of yourself as a true professional. Although many of your responsibilities may at times seem routine, never forget that at any moment you can be called upon to make important decisions. You should approach every moment of every day with this in mind. Among other things, this means always having a professional appearance. Whether you realize it or not, you are judged first by the way you look, and a sloppy or poorly groomed appearance will undoubtedly hinder your ability to deal successfully with others. In addition to your job description and training, your uniform is what sets you apart from everyone else at the mall. You are responsible for keeping it, as well as all your equipment, in good condition. As important as your appearance is, it's only the beginning when it comes to professionalism. The attitude you project when dealing with the many people you'll have contact with during the day will leave an even more lasting impression. You should always strive to be helpful, polite, and respectful to everyone you deal with. You may sometimes find it necessary to be a bit more assertive, especially when dealing with uncooperative or belligerent people. But even then, you should try to be firm and authoritative without being negative or mean-spirited, or using slang or profane language. Also, you should strive to cultivate good listening skills. This means paying careful attention to details, many of which may prove very important later on, when precise documentation may be required for legal or investigative purposes. You want to assure each person you talk to that you are there to help, not to accuse or condemn. Therefore, it's important to listen sympathetically and non-judgmentally, and to ask appropriate questions, which will lead to a satisfactory resolution of the problem. Finally, no professional can accomplish anything of value without some type of collaboration, and no public safety officer can be successful without the help of others, including other members of the public safety staff, IPC International Corporation supervisors, center employees, merchants, administration, and civil authorities such as the police, fire department, and paramedics. Every one of these people, yourself included, is a vital member of a team whose purpose is to provide for the safety and general welfare of every person who works, visits, or shops in the mall. Now that we've given a general overview, let's discuss some of the most important aspects of your job. First, you must understand IPC's philosophy regarding mall public safety. Our approach is a proactive one, which means that you are here primarily to prevent things from happening which could cause harm or otherwise detract from the mall's positive image or environment. It's vitally important that you have a clear understanding of where your duties end and those of the civil authorities begin. In most cases, you have no legal authority to make arrests, conduct searches, or use force unless in self-defense, or if not doing so, presents a danger to yourself or other innocent parties. By the same token, there is a fine line between defense and escalation. You should make every effort to avoid endangering yourself or others. This leads us to one of the most important legal concepts involving your work here at the center, the consequences of which can be very serious. This is the concept of liability. The legal definition of liability is to be legally responsible for damages, penalty, expense, burden, or anything unpleasant arising out of a condition in which a wrong has occurred. It sounds simple and clear-cut, but when applied to real-life occurrences, many complications may arise. For instance, when is taking action optional and when is it required? Once you put on your uniform, you become a representative of the mall and are therefore expected to take at least reasonable care to prevent harm to any of its patrons. This harm may be in the form of physical, emotional, monetary, or damage to reputation. Obviously, any overt action, such as hitting, grabbing, pushing, or any other physical force, may result in allegations of liability. But perhaps the most difficult situations are also the least obvious, those in which your exposure to liability may result from actions that you do not take. If a customer slips and is injured because of a spill which was not cleaned, it may be alleged that the center is liable for damages. That's why it's so important to be a careful observer. A large part of your job consists of making sure the mall is perceived in a positive light by all persons who have occasion to be there. You should treat all these people with equal respect and courtesy. But with regard to the mall's customers, you must be especially well-mannered, polite, and respectful, since you are most likely the only representative of the shopping center that these people will ever come into contact with. One segment of the general public which deserves special mention is the news media. You may on rare occasions be approached by a member of the media to comment on a matter regarding the center or an event occurring there. If this happens, you are never, under any circumstances, authorized to make any comment, no matter how insignificant or innocent it may seem. If a member of the media is persistent, you may refer him or her to the center office. The reasons for this policy should be clear, especially considering our previous discussion of liability. Your first duty as a public safety officer is to the center itself. Your secondary duties may be broken down into two categories: assistance to the public and assistance to the center's merchants. First, let's take a look at your duties to the center. Some of these responsibilities include to watch for and report any incidents of vandalism or damage to center property which you observe or are informed of, to watch for and report any incidents or activities which are disruptive to the peaceful environment of the center, such things as running, jumping, fighting, bicycle riding, alcohol or drug use, or any other unruly or potentially dangerous activities, to watch for safety and fire hazards, to enforce lease restrictions, and to carry out any and all requests by center management. Each situation has its own set of guidelines, most of which are spelled out specifically in your policy and procedures manual. But in general, you should strive to be helpful and polite at all times, using common sense to prevent any exposure to liability or other hazardous situations. In addition to your responsibilities to the center in general, some of the specific ways you may assist customers or visitors within the mall are assisting with directions when asked, assisting physically handicapped or disabled people when appropriate, helping to find children or others who have become separated from their parties, helping to locate lost vehicles, or escorting customers to their vehicles. Although stores are largely responsible for their own security, you may assist in a very limited way. This means doing whatever you can to help maintain a positive relationship between the center and all its merchants. If you are called in response to a shoplifting incident or other breach of security within a store, your main duty would be to assist the store representative in summoning police or other civil authorities and to help maintain order until they arrive. Once they do arrive, however, the case should be turned over to them, and they should be allowed to do their job without interference or comment from you, unless, of course, you are a material witness. Another important duty you have regarding the mall's merchants is the enforcement of lease restrictions. You may notice during your patrol rounds, for example, that a merchant has piled empty cartons or rubbish in an area which constitutes a fire or safety hazard, or has perhaps inadvertently violated a lease line restriction by placing signs or merchandise displays beyond the area specified in their lease. In cases like this, it's up to you to politely inform the store manager or owner of the violation, and to see that it is corrected, if possible, in your presence. If the correction is one which involves more time, notify your supervisor. Also, make a note of the violation, location, and time so that you may return later to ensure that it has been corrected. You may also, on occasion, be asked to act as a liaison between center management and a merchant by delivering papers or other communications from the center office to a store, or vice versa. This is just one more way you can help promote the smooth running of the mall and contribute to the overall goal of security and well-being for everyone involved. Whenever you're not engaged by any other pressing matters, you should be on general patrol. At times, it may appear as if nothing much is happening, but it's equally important during these times to maintain a careful watch on all the activities around you and to provide as thorough a coverage as possible of your assigned patrol route. Although it's important to carefully patrol the mall's common areas, it's equally crucial to keep a watch on all service corridors, electrical closets, valve rooms, and any other non-customer areas. It's also a good idea to vary your patrol route from day to day, so as not to establish a predictable pattern. Of course, if you are on a watch clock round system, this may not be possible. In addition to your interior patrol duties, you'll also be required to keep an eye on exterior areas, including parking lots, truck courts, and service entrances, as well as all customer entrances. Some of the more common conditions or occurrences you should watch for include physical damage or deterioration to buildings, curbs, parking lot lights, or other potentially hazardous conditions. Parking violations, delivery trucks staying longer in truck courts than is necessary, and any threatening or severe weather conditions which might pose a threat to the mall's occupants. Although you may occasionally walk some of your exterior rounds, most of the time you will be using the public safety vehicle. While doing so, you are expected to obey all relevant traffic and parking laws and to give first priority to safety at all times. Treat the vehicle as if it were your own, keeping it clean and in good condition both inside and out. The subject of emergencies is covered extensively in your public safety manual. Some of the situations you may encounter are injury or illness, fire, explosions, bomb threats, severe weather conditions, and earthquakes. Your first priority in any emergency is to summon aid immediately. This may be in the form of other members of the public safety staff, maintenance or other support service employees, as well as police, fire, or emergency medical personnel. If you determine that a call to local authorities is warranted, you should first contact the center office or dispatch center and have them place the call. Only if this is not possible, or if time is especially crucial, should you contact them yourself, providing as clearly and accurately as possible the nature and location of the emergency, the type of help needed, and an impartial, factual accounting of the incident or situation. Remember, the rule of thumb is, call for help first, then do whatever you can to maintain order and prevent further damage until assistance arrives. If a customer injures himself or becomes seriously ill in the mall, you must be very careful, especially because of the liability risks involved. First, make the person as comfortable as possible and ask whether he or she needs an ambulance. Since trauma victims may not always realize the seriousness of their condition, you must use your best judgment to decide what action to take if the victim declines. If the person is unconscious or cannot communicate, call an ambulance without delay and allow the emergency medical team to take over once they arrive. You should administer basic first aid or CPR only if you have been authorized and certified in these techniques and the situation clearly warrants it. By far, one of the most serious emergency situations in any mall is fire. Because of its unpredictability and its tendency to spread with sometimes incredible speed, fire is more likely than any other hazard to cause massive destruction, injury, and death. Again, we refer you to your manual for an extensive discussion of fire prevention and control. But just to give an overview, there are a few main points to keep in mind. First, it's always better to prevent a fire than to have to control one once it gets started. So let fire prevention always be foremost in your mind when patrolling the mall. Keep an eye out for potential fire hazards, combustibles being placed near obvious heat sources, such as electrical equipment, circuit boxes, furnaces, or boilers. Even a small piece of paper in an ashtray with a lit cigarette has the potential to develop into a deadly blaze. Also, you should become thoroughly familiar with the fire alarm system in your particular center, knowing what each different type of alarm means, and how to interpret the signals on the alarm panel. You should also know the locations of all manual pull alarm boxes, fire extinguishers, and fire hoses, as well as how to use them. If a full alarm is sounded during your shift, indicating a fire is in progress, your first priority is always to call the local fire department. Then, and only then, should you investigate further while waiting for them to arrive. If the fire is a small one, which can be easily extinguished without any danger to yourself or others, and if you've received the proper training, then you may use an available extinguisher or hose to do so. If, however, the fire is too large for you to handle, concentrate your efforts on ensuring the safety of the people near the fire, and let the trained professionals of the fire department do the job of controlling or extinguishing the fire. Finally, always assume that any alarm is a real one and treat it with the seriousness it deserves. Although rare, the degree of property damage and injury which may result from an explosion occurring within the mall warrants that you be thoroughly familiar with procedures for evacuation and structure security in your place of employment. While each incident may dictate a slightly different course of action, it's important that you become familiar with these general procedures, since if an explosion were to occur on your shift, you would have little time to consult manuals before taking action. Of course, there are a number of causes, such as a natural gas leak, which may accidentally set off an explosion. But by far the most frightening is that of a bomb which was purposely planted with the intention of causing severe property damage, injury, or death. So frightening is this possibility that the mere thought of it may be enough to panic most people, and a mass panic in a crowded shopping mall may be more dangerous than an actual bomb. It's your job to prevent this kind of panic from occurring. Fortunately, most bomb threats are just that, threats with little or no substance to them. This doesn't mean, however, that you shouldn't take them seriously. Just as with a fire alarm, any bomb threat received in the mall should be taken with the utmost seriousness, and with the assumption that the threat is indeed real. If you receive a telephone bomb threat during your shift, you should, if possible, complete a bomb threat checklist during the call. This form, available in the Public Safety Office, gives guidelines and suggests questions you may ask to help you determine the nature and severity of the threat. Another type of emergency situation is that caused by severe weather conditions. Even if you are located in an area which rarely experiences severe weather, you must be prepared to deal with such emergencies. Firstly, you should remain attentive to the weather while on duty and inform center management of any serious conditions which may be approaching. Also, If you are made aware of such conditions by National Weather Service or other broadcasts, center management should be informed. Some conditions may not present a serious danger to life and limb, but may nevertheless result in some people becoming stranded or otherwise cut off from their normal activities. Heavy snow accumulation is an example of this kind of weather hazard. In these cases, center management may issue directives instructing you how to proceed. It's your responsibility to follow these directives carefully. Finally, some of you may work in an area of the country that is susceptible to earthquakes. Although most structures located in these areas are built to withstand a certain amount of stress, a large-scale earthquake could still cause considerable damage. Since we rarely have any advance warning prior to an earthquake, your main priority would be the location and identification of any injured persons in the quake's aftermath. Also, once the immediate crisis is past, you should be alert for any structural conditions which may be dangerous and report such conditions immediately to center management. When it comes to dealing with criminal activity in the mall, your main objective is the prevention of these activities. This is accomplished primarily by maintaining a visible and obvious presence in the mall environment. If, however, a crime is committed during your shift, keep in mind that you are not a police officer and that your duties in most cases are limited to summoning the police as quickly as possible and maintaining order until they arrive, at which time you should be prepared to provide them with any and all relevant information regarding the event. Some of the incidents of criminal activity you may encounter are vandalism, theft of customer property, assault and/or battery, and shoplifting or other retail crimes. All of the things we've discussed so far would be meaningless without some method of communicating with your fellow officers and superiors, as well as local civil authorities. To this end, IPC has developed a few simple yet comprehensive report forms. The two forms which you'll use most often are the Daily Activity Report and the Incident Accident Report. The Daily Activity Report is designed to allow you to record, in a simple, straightforward way, each activity you perform on a daily basis, including the time it was completed. The Incident Accident Report is for recording as complete a description as possible of any unusual incident or accident which occurs on your shift. When filling out this form, it's extremely important that you give as complete and detailed a description as possible, including the names of people involved, or descriptions if names are unavailable, exact locations, exact times, license plate numbers, and descriptions of autos, and anything else which may help in the event that police or other civil authorities become involved and need a detailed account of the incident. To help you in this effort, since the forms are not always readily available, you should always carry with you a small notepad and pen with which to record certain details or facts regarding an incident while they're still fresh in your mind, so that when you do fill out the incident report later on, you will be able to reconstruct the details as accurately as possible. We hope this video has given you a sense of how important your role as an IPC public safety officer is. Under your watchful eyes, the thousands of people who come here every day to escape the constant demands of an increasingly complex world can enjoy a few hours of pleasant, carefree shopping or socializing. We're glad to have you as a member of our team. With your professionalism, we can all succeed in our common goal of creating a safe and secure environment for the people we serve.
IPC International Corporation presents Uniform Professionalism for Public Safety Officers. IPC International Corporation takes pride in being the leader in providing public safety service to the shopping center community. IPC has been protecting America's malls for over 20 years. One of the keys to our success has been the concept of the public safety officer as goodwill ambassador. You, as a public safety officer, represent not only IPC International, but a multi-million-dollar shopping center that is in business to provide a pleasant shopping experience to customers. And your IPC uniform and accessories play a major role in representing yourself, IPC, and the center.
You, as an IPC public safety officer, will be required to perform a variety of tasks under various conditions.
IPC supplies the necessary uniforms and accessories designed to provide
protection from the elements,
professional appearance,
and portability of tools of the trade.
Your IPC uniform plays a major role in presenting a professional first impression, not only of yourself, but also IPC and the center.
Once you take possession of this uniform, it's up to you to wear the clothing properly and to maintain this equipment.
This video will show you how to wear your uniform professionally and demonstrate how to maintain your uniform to sustain that professional image.
Let's start with the basic long-sleeve men's uniform.
This is the standard IPC winter uniform. This uniform consists of a long-sleeve shirt, tie, slacks, and black Clarino shoes. Let's start with the shoes. Basically, there's only one way to wear these shoes. Tie the knot tightly. If necessary, use a double knot. The real key to these shoes is the care and maintenance of them. Take the time to polish them.
In order to keep your shoes shiny, you will need to regularly polish them with Pledge or Armor All. This will help conceal any scuffs and maintain the shiny Clarino finish that helps provide that professional image. Remember not to use paper towels or anything else abrasive on the shoes, as this will permanently damage the finish. Next on the agenda, your standard IPC uniform pants.
These pants are made of a material which provides you a clean, crisp look. Here are a few maintenance tips.
Bleach will discolor the pants, as well as the patches on your shirt. Never use bleach on any portion of your uniform. You may need to iron these pants. Remember to lay them on the ironing board in such a way that the crease is formed nicely down the center of each pant leg. And when you do iron these pants, or the matching shirt, set the iron on a light heat setting so as not to melt the material.
Of course, just ironing is not enough. Your pants must fit properly.
An easy way to ensure this is to look at the front pockets. The pockets should lie flat. Any bulge or buckle tells you that the pants are too tight and you will need to order the next larger size. They should, however, have a slight buckle in the crease with just enough of the pant leg to cover the bow of the shoestring. The back of the pant leg should be 1 inch from the floor. And the crease should run down the middle of each pant leg. Keep this in mind when ironing. Moving up, the basic long-sleeve IPC uniform shirt.
Your shirt is the most visible part of the uniform. To ensure a professional image, you need to start with proper sizing.
Your neckline should be tight enough so that the collar does not sag or have slack in it. The general rule is that you should be able to stick 4 fingers in your collar.
Your sleeves should be long enough to provide you full extension of your arms and the freedom to move around and perform regular tasks. However, they shouldn't be so long that they would bunch up at the end or cover your hand.
To ensure proper sleeve length, measure your sleeves before ordering your shirt. This is done by measuring from the center of your shoulder blades to the first knuckle of your thumb. To determine your neck size, use a tape to measure your neck.
The IPC buttons on your uniform are designed so that they can be taken off and replaced if necessary.
To remove, pull the cotter pin on the back side of the button. Next, carefully remove the washer. Lastly, pull the button straight out.
But you do not need to take them off for washing. Regular machine washing actually keeps them shiny.
The badge and name tag should be placed in the holes that are sewn into the shirt. Ensure the badge is clean. Keep it shined using a soft cloth. Do not use metal polish on your badge, as this will remove the finish.
To present a professional image, always wear a white crew neck t-shirt under your uniform shirt. The white t-shirt must be free of any writing or markings.
This kind of tuck may be okay for casual occasions, but not for on-duty IPC public safety officers. To maintain that clean, crisp look, you need to fold the excess material at the sides, towards the back half of your body, and tuck it into your slacks.
Next, we're going to talk about your gig line. The gig line is a line formed by the seam in your shirt, the edge of your buckle, and the seam in your zipper. While on patrol, occasionally check your gig line and make the necessary adjustments.
Now, let's take a look at the various IPC uniform belts.
When ordering your pant belt, ensure that you order it the same size as your pant. For example, if you ordered a size 34-inch waist pant, order a size 34-inch pant belt. For those locations where you do not wear a duty belt, ensure that you order a Clarino finished pant belt. For those properties where you wear a duty belt, order your duty belt 2 inches larger than your pant belt. For example, if you ordered a size 34-inch pant belt, order a size 36-inch duty belt. This will allow you to wear your duty belt over your pant belt.
Properties, climates, and conditions will determine what equipment you may carry. It can get fairly elaborate.
It's important to properly maintain your equipment. Keep it in good working condition. And never carry any equipment for which you have not received the proper training or for which IPC has not authorized you to carry. There's no required positioning for any of the equipment on your belt. Whatever works for you and whatever is comfortable will dictate where you place the equipment on your belt. However, you should pay special attention to the placement of your self-defense equipment. You should place your radio where you can hear it and where it's easy to reach. Now let's not forget the last item in your professional presentation, the hat. When wearing the hat, you should place the hat on your head so that the brim is level with the ground. It should not rest on your ears, nor should it cover your eyes.
When ordering your campaign hat, you will need to measure around your head and then translate that measurement to a hat size. This conversion can be obtained from a hat size conversion chart, available through the IPC Uniform Department. Regarding coats and jackets, remember that they are for outdoor use only. Take coats and jackets off when indoors. When wearing the jacket, you must remove the badge from your shirt and place it on the jacket, so the badge is visible to customers.
When looking at a professional uniform, small details will make a big difference in making a good first impression. If you do not pay attention to the small details, you really can make a bad first impression.
Let's take a look at what happens when you do not pay proper attention to the details. This hat sits too low. It should not rest on the ears. This shirt collar is much too loose. Your collar should fit snugly, with only enough room for 4 fingers between your neck and collar. The tie should be tucked professionally under your collar and should hang over the buckle of your belt. These sleeves are too long. Sleeves should be long enough to provide full range of movement, but not bunch up or cover your hand. This shirt is not correctly tucked in. Ensure that your shirt is pulled tightly in the front and tucked neatly in the back. This duty belt is riding too high. It should be placed over the pant belt and properly secured with keepers. These bulges and buckles tell you that the pants are too tight and should be ordered in a larger size. This t-shirt is unacceptable. You are required to wear a plain white crewneck t-shirt with no markings.
Continuously rechecking your uniform should be part of your daily routine. This can easily be done by checking the mirror each time you conduct a restroom check.
There are minor but important differences between the summer and winter uniforms. The summer uniform has short sleeves. Also, a tie is not necessary. However, without a tie, the t-shirt becomes highly visible. It is very important for your t-shirt to be a crew neck, pure white, and free of any markings.
The female public safety officer must also present a professional image. Let's take a few minutes to talk about our uniform. Many of the same things discussed earlier for men are also important for females. Just like the guys, we need to wear a white crew neck t-shirt. We wear a tie with the long sleeve uniform and no tie with the short sleeve uniform. We also use the same gig line techniques to line up our uniforms, even though the woman's shirt buttons on the opposite side. The uniform industry uses sizes that correspond to the woman's bust size. For example, uniforms come in sizes such as 34, 36, and 38, and not normal sizes such as 10, 12, or 14. And ladies, your hair is both an appearance and a safety concern. If you have long and flowing hair, it is easy to get it caught on something and even easier for someone to grab. Neatly pinning up the hair provides a professional appearance and a margin of safety. Another reason for a conservative hairstyle is that just like the guys, we also need to wear hats. And we fit this headgear using the same techniques described previously in this video. Now let's take a look at how we properly dress with the Bike Patrol uniform. As you can see, we have two different types of Bike Patrol uniforms, or at least two different forms of pants. The uniforms are the same for male or female, and the choice of which pants is up to you and your director.
Now don't forget, even when wearing the Bike Patrol uniform, you're still required to wear a white crew neck t-shirt under the polo shirt.
It is important to mention again that while the Bike Patrol uniform is very comfortable and sometimes seems casual compared to the duty uniform, it is still very important to always present a professional image.
When ordering a shirt for Bike Patrol, ensure that it fits comfortably enough to provide a full range of motion. However, ensure that it's not so loose that it would detract from a professional image.
Now let's talk about the BDU pants and shorts for a moment.
When ordering the BDU pants or shorts, simply put your pant size on the order form and the proper size pants will be sent to you. However, if you're taller than 6'1", then you will need to order the extra long size.
When wearing the BDU pants, tie the cuff tightly. This will prevent the pant cuff from getting caught in the sprocket and chain when riding the bike. The Bike Patrol uniform is made of a cotton material. When washing this uniform, do not use bleach. Wash in cold water and dry on a low heat setting. This will avoid shrinkage and discoloration.
When purchasing your shoes, keep in mind they must be all black with no other colors. Some centers allow officers to wear boots, but these too must be all black and kept as shiny as possible.
While on Bike Patrol, the uniform is different, but you will be required to wear the same equipment as when on regular patrol.
The last part of your Bike Patrol uniform is your helmet. This is undoubtedly the most important part of your uniform.
You must always wear a helmet when operating a bike. Please refer to the manufacturer's instructions to ensure a proper fit.
That pretty well completes the Bike Patrol uniform.
Although the Bike Patrol uniform is designed to provide you an athletic fit, you must always maintain a professional image.
We've talked a lot today about first impressions.
First impressions are fundamentally important to our role as goodwill ambassadors. In protecting America's malls, IPC has become the industry leader in providing public safety services which create a safe and comfortable environment at the center.
Fairly or unfairly, management, customers, merchants, and civil authorities will judge you on whether your appearance is professional. In any business, the first impression is the most important, and in our business, you quite often only have one chance to make that impression.
Keep your uniform in good condition and wear it with pride.
Take pride in yourself and your career. IPC will provide you with the uniform,
But it's up to you to wear it properly.
IPC International Corporation presents Safe Driving Techniques for Public Safety Officers. At IPC International, safety comes first, and safety begins with the driver. You must be physically and mentally prepared to drive a vehicle. There may be times when you are feeling ill or not alert enough to drive safely. If you don't think you can drive safely, then don't drive. Notify your supervisor immediately and discuss your situation. Before driving any vehicle for patrol, you need to make certain the vehicle is ready for your shift. Each property has a vehicle inspection form to help you in this process. The vehicle inspection process is required and must be completed any time you accept responsibility for a vehicle, even if just for a few hours. Make sure that the vehicle is in proper running order and has all the equipment required on your property. Your inspection should include lights, turn signals, tire wear, fluid levels, belts and hoses, cleanliness, and overall condition. Although every property has different requirements for equipment, you will need to have your radio, pen and paper, permit or license, vehicle registration, and insurance documents. Safety belts prevent injuries and help you maintain vehicle control. To properly wear your safety belt, adjust it so that it fits low and snug across your lap. You must wear your seatbelt at all times when driving an IPC vehicle. Once your safety belt and seat are adjusted, adjust your mirrors to give you a wide field of view. When adjusting your side mirrors, make sure to swing them wide enough so you can barely see your own vehicle. By setting your mirrors in this wider view position, you substantially reduce the blind zone at the rear of your vehicle. Before you start driving, lock your doors. A locked door will better withstand impact than unlocked doors. Holding the steering wheel with your hands as close as possible to the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions will give you the greatest control over the steering. As you get ready to merge into traffic, indicate your intentions by using your turn signal.
Always check over your shoulders and look at your mirrors to make sure your path is clear. If there is any traffic, wait. There is no need to rush into traffic. Merge at a safe speed and leave yourself space to maneuver. Safe driving requires constant attention. Using the SIPD concept, you can be prepared for almost any dangerous circumstance. Scan your environment. Keep your eyes moving. The more you see, the better you will be at spotting potential trouble. Again, make it a habit to scan all of your mirrors every few seconds. Identify any potential hazards. In this scene, you will notice that a car has pulled into the main traffic lane. Predict what potential hazards exist. Will the car continue moving? Will it stop in front of you, forcing you to stop or move over? Will someone run to or from the vehicle? Decide what your options are. Should you come to a complete stop? Can you steer to the right? Can you go to the left? What are the risks with each decision? You need to decide quickly, and being prepared and aware makes the decision easier. Once you have made your decision, execute your maneuver quickly but smoothly. In this particular scenario, stopping was the best decision. Hazards surround you in a shopping center. By constantly employing the SIPD principles, you will have a better chance of avoiding accidents. As an IPC public safety officer, you are expected to keep a watchful eye for pedestrians, especially children. Anticipate that people will cross the roadway in front of you. Always give pedestrians the right of way, as long as it's safe for them to cross. Taking the time to allow pedestrians to pass or to allow cars to enter your traffic lane enhances our customer service image. At the same time, you give yourself a better opportunity to observe your surroundings and reduce your risk of being involved in a crash. You must expect that people will park their cars or walk in the traffic lanes without really paying attention to what's around them. Always assume that someone parking a car at the curb could open their door into your path. You are expected to obey all traffic control signs and signals. Make sure you come to a complete stop at stop signs and intersections. Whenever you change direction, use your turn signal, even when entering or leaving a parking aisle. In fleets like ours, more than 40% of crashes occur while backing. In most cases, simply paying careful attention will prevent crashes. Whenever possible, park in a way that won't require you to back up when you leave. If you must back up, then do so safely. It is safer to back up when you arrive than it is to back up as you are leaving. Blind spots make it impossible to see things that may be hazards unless you take extra steps to be safe. Whenever you must back up, walk to the rear of your vehicle and make sure that there are no obstacles in the way. To make backing safer and to help eliminate blind spots, first, check your mirrors. Then, check over your shoulders and boost yourself up in the seat to give the best possible view. Blind spots can block your vision as far as 30 feet behind your vehicle. Backing up is hard enough, but safely turning while backing is even more difficult. The front of your vehicle will swing wide towards the outside when you turn while backing. Pay attention to what's next to you as you prepare to back up. Remember, if you can avoid backing, or if you can back up when you first park, you'll be better off. Whenever you back up or shift into any gear, make sure your foot is on the brake and the vehicle is standing still. Shifting the gears while the vehicle is in motion can cause serious damage to the transmission. Smooth braking is a key concept for safe driving. Always give yourself plenty of distance to stop or maneuver. Even traveling at low speeds, braking distance is important. At only 20 miles per hour, you are traveling at almost 30 feet every second. To determine your speed in feet per second, simply multiply your miles per hour times 1.5. This will give you a better idea of how important stopping and following distances are. At 40 miles an hour, you are traveling at nearly 60 feet per second. If you must stop abruptly with anti-lock brakes, they will automatically switch on and off hundreds of times per minute. You may feel the pedal pulsate and press against your foot. This is normal. You should maintain constant brake pressure. If you do not have ABS, slamming the brakes could cause skidding, especially on wet roads. Do not pump the brakes or remove your foot from the pedal. Instead, use threshold braking. If you skid while applying the brakes, simply reduce brake pressure gradually until the wheels are no longer locked and you stop skidding. To avoid having to panic brake, simply increase your following distance. The rule of thumb for most drivers is the 2-second rule. However, with your added responsibility of patrol, you should increase your following distance to 3 seconds. This rule states that when you are following another vehicle, you should watch a stationary object, such as a signpost or similar object, and count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Remember, if you are driving at 20 miles per hour, that's 30 feet per second. If you follow the 3-second rule, you will have 90 feet to stop safely. In general, how you park sets the example for our customers. Don't park in front of fire hydrants, in crosswalk areas, or in no parking zones. Try to always park in legal parking areas. Defensive parking, just like defensive driving, means that you must park your vehicle in a position that best protects you from a collision or from interfering with other traffic. You may encounter or be called to help a motorist with a stalled vehicle or some other similar situation in the parking lots. Your goal is to protect the scene and the people with as little interference of the traffic flow as possible. If you are protecting a scene or a motorist, make sure you use the safety equipment required at your property. When you park in an area with hills or on ramps, keep the wheels turned away from the curb while facing uphill, and turn the wheels towards the curb when facing downhill. Driving while patrolling requires more attention than normal driving. You must maintain control and pay attention even while on the radio. If you must talk on the radio, keep your eyes on the road. If you need to write something down, pull over to a safe spot and park. Never write while driving. Remember, your driving sets the example for others. Keep your speeds at or below the posted limit on the ring road, and always drive slowly. Driving across the painted aisle markers is never acceptable. You must always drive to the ends of the aisles and come to a complete stop. Make sure you use your turn signals. Never cross aisle markers even when the mall is closed or there are only a few cars parked in the lot. Customers who need assistance will occasionally flag you down. When this happens, your first concern should be for their safety. Avoid having customers cross traffic or enter a traffic lane to meet with you. Tell them you will come to them and park your vehicle in a safe spot. If you need to transport the customer, there are some simple rules to follow. As you begin your transport, notify your dispatcher and report your beginning mileage. Your passengers must wear safety belts. When you drop off the passengers, do so at a curb or somewhere where they are not opening their door and stepping into traffic. Call out your ending mileage as you drop them off. If your property uses golf carts, passengers must be instructed to hold on securely since there are no safety belts. Place all packages in the cargo area or on a different seat. Golf carts handle and behave differently than cars, and you must turn slowly. Avoid driving carts on ring roads. While driving at night or in parking structures, visibility is substantially reduced. Keep your distance from other vehicles and pay special attention to pedestrians. Avoid looking into the lights of oncoming vehicles. Poor weather is a major contributor to crashes. When driving in snow or rain or on icy roads, you must use extreme caution. Harsh steering or braking inputs on wet or slippery roads will lead to skidding and a loss of control. Your best defense is to reduce your speed, plan ahead, and use smooth but gentle inputs to maintain control of your vehicle. Even with ABS or four-wheel drive, harsh inputs will most likely lead to skidding. If you do end up in a skidding situation, gradually and gently release the pressure on whichever pedal you are depressing. Steer gently in the direction you would like to go. Pay attention to speed bumps in your center. Approach them at very low speeds and go over them slowly. The following exercises should be conducted under the supervision of your director or other qualified instructor. Refer to your training manual for specific instructions on setting up and conducting these maneuvers. The first exercise is designed to demonstrate the large blind zones behind vehicles and to show you ways to make them smaller. Using only your mirrors, you will watch as your trainer walks behind you with a safety cone. As soon as you see the cone in your mirrors, honk your horn. Your trainer will place the cone on the ground behind your vehicle. You will then repeat the exercise, but this time you will turn around and boost yourself up to look out the back window. Place your right hand over the passenger seat. Place your right foot on the brake pedal and extend your left leg. Try to lift your body slightly out of the seat and look behind you. Use the mirrors as well as looking out the back window. Your trainer will again walk behind you with a safety cone. When you see this cone, honk your horn, and the trainer will place the cone on the ground. By boosting yourself up and using your mirrors and looking out the back window, you can substantially reduce your blind zone. However, when you look behind your vehicle, you will see that you still have a large blind zone. This is why we expect you to walk to the rear of your vehicle and make sure it is safe before you back up. The brake box exercise will help you become familiar with the stopping capability and distances of your vehicle. Begin this exercise at slow speeds. As you approach the brake box, apply gradual pressure until you come to a complete stop at the front of the brake box. Your objective is to control where your vehicle comes to a final stop. You will be successful when you complete the stop smoothly and directly in front of the cones. Your instructor will have you repeat this process at a variety of speeds until you demonstrate complete control. The Serpentine course is designed to give you experience and confidence in your vehicle's handling and turning ability. As with the brake box exercise, your trainer will have you repeat the Serpentine course several times at various speeds. There are many situations that steering away is safer than applying the brakes. The serpentine exercise allows you to practice and master smooth and consistent steering inputs. The proper way to negotiate turns and maintain control over your vehicle is to always use gentle inputs. Smooth, continuous motion of the steering wheel will give you better results than harsh or abrupt inputs. A successful run through the serpentine course means that you have left all of the cones standing and have demonstrated smooth inputs. Your instructor will be watching your hands for smooth inputs and will be watching for body roll of your vehicle. The less body roll, the better. Remember that safety is everyone's responsibility. At IPC International, our list of the top 10 driving behaviors will help us reduce or eliminate collisions. Do your part and follow all 10. 1. Use shoulder checks and mirrors while backing. 2. Before you back up, walk behind your vehicle to check for obstructions. 3. Follow the 3-second rule and always maintain a safe distance. 4. Don't cut across the aisles. 5. Drive slowly. 6. Make complete stops at intersections, crosswalks, and ends of aisles. 7. Be courteous towards others. 8. Wear your safety belt. No exceptions. 9. Perform a complete vehicle inspection at the beginning of your shift. 10. Pull over and stop to write or take notes. Your safety is important. Be prepared and drive carefully. This has been a production of IPC International Corporation.